But don't fall asleep till the dopamine hit. A line from Lupe Fiasco's Dopamine Lit. But the question is, what is dopamine? That will be the topic of conversation as we continue the biological basis of behavior. Just so you know, dopamine is a neurotransmitter. According to It's All in the Brain, dopamine is a reward chemical associated with all types of pleasures. Too little can cause depression. Too much can lead to addictions. So let's find out a little more about the definition, the functions, and the levels of dopamine, also known as DA. So let's go ahead and break it down like a fraction, put it back together, beginning with the definition. Dopamine is a catecholamine, and it can be excitatory and or inhibitory. It just means it has an amine group, the basic nitrogen atom with a lone pair on it, but that's that OChem life. You don't have to worry about too much of that for this episode. Majority of dopamine are in the substantia nigra. As you can see to the right, that top little blue bulb area. And dopamine's pathways extend to the frontal lobes, as you can see if you follow that blue line, basal ganglia, and the hypothalamus. And just so you know, a neural pathway are the connections formed by different axons that project messages through the neurons and make synapses onto other neurons in other areas and locations so that the brain can communicate within different regions. So if you think about the brain as a large city, these are like the main streets and main highways and interstates in the brain. Next is the multiple functions. You can see Lupe Fiasco performing a dopamine lit song. Just give you a little context. Multiple functions of the dopamine. I mean, it plays a role in emotions, movement, endocrine functions, attention, sociability, motivation, desire, pleasure, and reward-driven learning. And that's why, unfortunately, it plays a big role sometimes in addiction. So just be mindful of that. Last but not least are the activities and the levels. So the professionals have learned that overactivity of dopamine in the pathways to the frontal lobes has been implicated in schizophrenia. When I say that, we're talking about psychosis, so hallucinations, delusions, or just simply being out of touch with reality. Underactivity of dopamine has been implicated in ADHD, so that's attention deficit hyperactivity disorders. And the loss of dopamine producing neurons in the basal ganglia pathway is the underlying cause of Parkinson's disease. If you'd like to learn a little more about the basal ganglia and Parkinson's disease, please watch my previous episode on the basal ganglia. So let's go ahead and sum it up. Just know, by definition, dopamine is a neurotransmitter or hormone. It's formed in the brain and operates throughout the central nervous system as well as the sympathetic nervous system. Functions include emotions, movement, attention, desires, and pleasures. And too much can lead to schizophrenia. Too little can lead to ADHD, and low production in the basal ganglia pathway is the underlying cause of Parkinson's disease. Right. We have our references, and thanks for listening. Be sure to follow me at Skelton_neuro at Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Subscribe to the Skelton Report, and be sure to check out my e-courses on Udemy on motivation, as well as, that's where the dopamine's at, right? And depression as well. So I'll check you out on the next go around. Peace.